Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In a recent video that I filmed at Ludham Bridge, I asked if any of you could remember the names of the first boats you hired on the Norfolk Broads. So many of you responded and wrote in the comments. So I thought it might be nice to make a video and include all the names and the boatyards if you could remember them, and some of you even remembered which year it was. So, in no particular order, here we go with all the wonderful names. John Willets, 2988. His first holiday was in a houseboat at Broadsedge in Stalham. His actual first boat was called Essex, and he hired that from Stalham Yacht Station, which is now Simpson's. Melvin Riches hired Happy Time 3 from Freeman's Boatyard in Beccles in the 1960s. Stig 333 hired Sir Galahad, and that was booked through Blake's. Jane Daniel hired a Topliner Royale from Topcraft in Oulton Broad. Katy Haley 1811 hired Emiline from Porter and Haylett of Wroxham in 1970. Biddy Allen in 1975 hired Ripling Stream from Southgates in Horning. Next we have Andy Pandy 9, and he hired Jetstream 2 from Southgates, also in Horning. Jean Roberts 934 hired Challenger 39 from Truman's in Oulton Broad, which was thought to be a Dunkirk little ship. Glyn Naylor hired Crusader Knight from Crusader Boats in Great Yarmouth, opposite the yacht station. Stephen Fisher was 3 in 1973 when he went on holiday with his mum and dad. They hired a boat named Swallow in St Olives from F.W. Cruisers. Jeff Lofts holidayed on a boat named Halloween as a child in 1967. In 1959, Richard hired Starlight from Herbert Woods in Potter Heigham. In 1979, Anthony Smith hired Crystal Stream for 2 weeks at a cost of £126. He says it may not seem a lot of money now, but at the time that was 3 weeks' wages. Eric Ward went on a boat named Norfolk, which was from Stalham. In 1971, Jeremy Banyard's first boat was Star Victor 2, and he hired that from Jack Powell's in Wroxham. In 1958, Bob Peach hired Summer Breeze from Southgates in Horning. The first boat that Laurie Thorpe hired was a wooden cruiser named Concordia. William Strachan hired a Belmore from Wroxham. Gary Hodgson hired Fair Lowliner approximately 20 years ago. James Ridley hired Dawn Star from Jack Powell's in Wroxham. The Cambridgeshire angler hired Top Gem from Richardson's around 20 years ago. Mr. Reaper hired Elland from Ludham Marine. Does It Matter hired Silver Mystère from Silverline Marine in Brundall. Roy Haslam, in 1969, he hired Ranger 1 at a cost of £42 for the week, and that came from Southgates in Horning. Jonathan hired Blue Gem from Pennant Holidays in Potter Heigham. About 50 years ago, AA hired Gold Gem. In the late 1960s, Susan Hill hired Lolita from Jack Nicholson's in Great Yarmouth. He's not quite sure, it was either 1968 or 1969. David Oakley hired Sparkling Light from Herbert Woods in Potter Heigham. In 1975, Duncan Wilson hired Aston Oak from Ludham. In 1961, Sean Parkin hired Flying Snipe from Robinson's in Oulton Broad. In 1991, Clear Horizon was hired by Dave Birch. The first boat that Francis Armstrong hired was Emerald Emblem, and that was from Ferry Marina in Horning. Sergio Ricchetti hired Concerto from Barnes Brinkcraft around 3 years ago. In 1957, Claire Gardner hired a sailing yacht from Herbert Woods in Potter Heigham. Michael Burnell hired at Santa Maria from Harvey Eastwood and Brundle, and that was in 1975. In 1975, Lawrence Main hired Broadland Bitton. In 1973, Alan Corbett hired Aston Nelson from Loddon. Ian Abram, in 1976, hired Captain 10 from Brooms in Brundle. In 1979, David Bray hired Sir Belvedere from Womack. Boating David, who actually lives on a narrowboat himself, has holidayed on Concerto 4. Ian Sheff, 57, I hope I've said that name right, in 1979 hired Marilene from Eastix. Hev hired Sandpiper from Sanderson's in Reedham. Robert Walsworth hired San Francisco 1 in 2006, and that was from Richardson's. Keith Eady hired Adriatic from Horning Pleasurecraft. Sarah Wadsworth hired in 1970 Glitter Girl. Michael Taylor hired Corsica from F.B. Wilds in Horning, and in 1977 when he hired it, it was a brand new boat. Julie hired Lady Linden from LL Cruisers in 1982. Skelly Willett hired San Benedetto from Richardson's. In 1965, Malcolm Harris had his first Brawls holiday on Barsac, which came from South Wroxham. And in 1986, Angela Martin had her first Norfolk Brawls holiday on a boat called Spanish Cove. What a fantastic response. Thank you all so much. It's very much appreciated. And I've thoroughly enjoyed learning new names of boats, new boatyards that I didn't know existed. Obviously, they're no longer there, some of them. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you all so much for doing that. Now, obviously, this is my unique idea to do this type of video. So if you see anybody now after this one I've made do the same or very similar, feel free to call them out on it. And I've also got some other ideas up my sleeve as well. So feel free. Don't let them get away with pinching my ideas. Now, I have checked several times that I've not missed anybody out who sent in information. But of course, there may well be someone I've missed. I actually made this video last night, so if you've sent the information through on Wednesday, my video would have been already uploaded, and that's why you're not seeing it. Thank you to everybody who's participated, as without your help, this video wouldn't exist. So, be proud of yourselves, everybody. We've all made a video together. I'll be back again very soon. Bye for now.